Hello! Partner push. Perfect. I feel like we've had that exact same title weirdly recently. There's no memory in the title generator, so it could be the exact same 2 days in a row. That can happen. All right. Tonight's goal is pretty straightforward, which is we need to get a partner on the field, following Dabble around. And I really think she's a little too tall, but we'll scale. We'll worry about scaling later. So how in the world do we get a partner to follow the player around? So I have to be careful. Don't stack onto this scene. This is the wrong scene to stack onto, I think, because this one is just the actor. So it shouldn't be dealing with things like, honestly, really the actor should be like a sub scene. I don't know. We're gonna build some other management system for the partner. Partner is going to be a thing, a node that targets something. Actually, so to some degree, just the idea of an actor that follows around another actor at a set target distance is something that could be used in a few different ways. So let's keep that in mind. Maybe that should be the first goal, is start with just logic where we can plug in one actor and point it to another, and then they just follow. And then things like, okay, spawn when a zone starts, allow field abilities, allow swapping partners with the menu. All of that stuff can be later on. For now, we just need some kind of zone, a position that follows the player. Now, what does that look like, though? Let's just get the code running and kind of figure out what that looks like. I do not like all these errors. I do not know what's going on there. Okay, so follows. What? Huh? Why would people post such lies? Hello, Turtle. I hope you're having a wonderful night. It won't follow in your footsteps. It will just kind of be dragging along behind you. And then jumping. How does that work? Maybe there's some kind of built-in we can plop on here. So let's just, for now, create a generic scene folder, partner base stuff. I didn't do that. That's been in the code for months, since Snailgate. I take no responsibility for what title is taken per night. Actor follow. Wait a second. Do I even need this? Could this just be a generic thing in the actor base class? So going to be something like that again. This year's going to be a little bit less scheduled. What font is it that you use for the old title? It's one of my favorite fonts. It's called Grobold. Or Grobold or something. I've been using it a lot. It's too late. Go ahead. Go crazy. I use it in a lot of stuff. No! 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 That's all it takes. Let's see here. So there's already target locations is an object. So we can kind of piggyback off this of something that automatically moves for you. Admittedly, this is for just X and Z. Dupu. Just every time I cannot not see it on the flex emote. It's like the arm is completely detached from Dupu. And so it does look like it's just Dupu behind. And I can only see Bowser's muscly bicep there. And giving quite a look like, Bowser, been working out, man. Can't be Bowser. Killed him. He's dead. He died like 5 times. 4. I promise I'm not feeling a Bowser, guys. Come on. All right. So we're gonna have a follow target, which is a character body 3D, and by default that's null. And if we have one of those, let's see here. Make sure it's global positions. And if we have some target locations to choose from. Okay, there we go. Now I need to actually create an actor and set it to follow the player. So, where do we generate the player? Right here in the scene manager. Add player. Huh. Okay. Ah. Okay. Kind of. Everyone has extremely vivid imagination. That's the whole point. It really does need the tattoo. I know the time was a bit much, but a pinup girl. Oh no. He's going full Tatooine. Let's see here. Let's instantiate something. But don't return. So you gotta be a little bit careful here because I do want. All right, hang on. We get player node here, so let's have add partner. To player node. So after we add player, wherever that happens. Okay, that's in both places that we call that function. He's clearly not thrilled. It's great. It's great. What would people just go and make emotes specifically targeting other streamers? What is that a thing that happens? Is that a thing that happens on mytwitch.tv.com? Impossible. What else is classy? What Al? The secret oh, I will say, I reduced the weight on Power Moons. I reduced the weight on Power Moons significantly, so it's on par with 64 and Sunshine and the rest. And I added a new category. It's very funny. It is very funny to me specifically. All right. You know what? I've changed my mind on how to do this. I'm gonna put it within the. I'm gonna call it within the add player function here. I think that'll work. Okay, so add partner. We're gonna have partner Fennel. Then we can instantiate it. And then add it to the scene. And that's it, I get. And we need to update the position. Dot global position. Just to double check on that. Goomas. Oh, and the biggest thing is that new code we just added. The partner node dot what did we call it? The follow target equals player node. That should work. Goomas. All right, and then let's add the actual partner scene here. That could potentially work right away. Let's find out. Let's see if it breaks immediately. Still got to figure out those errors. Okay, that is something. Just having a little trouble keeping up, but that's working. That actually works like a lot better than I expected it would. Now we need some personal space. We need to program in some personal space. You know, that's a great point, Dupu. No one there was getting paid enough. Now, I assume that she can get stuck. Yeah. So we'll deal with that somehow. Stomping Koopas. But hey, that's a great first step at least. So... 1,000 Year Door has a very simple way of making it work. She get a bonus when healing Dabble. I think she's just going to have a healing move. And the assumption is in 95% of the game, the only possible target is Dabble. Because she's only ever on the field with Dabble. Is the robot also called Dabble? The robot is Dabble, yes. My son is also called Dabble. Oh no, here she comes. What's she doing over there? What's she doing over there? Why is she sliding? What's happening? What is happening to her? Why is she sliding? What happened? Why are you animating like that? Oh, it's your jump animation did something goofy, didn't it? Additional healing points. There's no additional. It's just like she has a move that does healing. Or at some point in the game, she can get a move that does some healing. Yeah. Yeah, it's there are two people in combat on your team at a time, Dabble and Partner. Cat can only heal one thing on the team, and that happens to be Dabble. Okay. What's up with the jump animation here? What happened? What happened here? We don't have a jump animation yet. That's what happened. Bunch of jerks. Just one jerk. Okay, we didn't make a jump animation. That is on us. All right, so change this over to point to animation canvas and switch over to this, and now let's do it. Let's make a jump. Jerk chicken, waka waka. What does jump animation look like for Dabble? It's kind of like it doubles as a falling animation, really. She is too big. Right, 2D. Okay, let's duplicate idle into jump. And let's significantly reduce the time of jump to 0.5 seconds looping. Make sure to bring all these in. All of these. There's not a lot of them, admittedly. Okay, so great. Looks great. All right. So jump animation. We got to do like kind of like that. Wait, nope, careful. Grab the container. Same with the tail. All right, there we go. Now let's fix all those. Body position rotation. We'll figure out the wrench in a bit. Head position, head rotation. Foot position and rotation. Other foot. Arm container, is that rotation? Nope. Rotation. Back arm is probably fine for now. SNES games. Okay. Okay, body does not need to bob at all like this yet. Okay, so right now we just have this. So we will make the arm do a little bit of rotatey. Let's try this. Not enough. That's better. Foot will do a little bit of little bit of movement. Thank you for the follow. Okay, that's awful. That's awful right there. Let's actually bump this up to 1. Maybe that'll make it a little bit better. What kind of like a whoa? Let's try. Back arm container rotation as well. Instead of a Paper Mario, yes! It's so good. It's so good. Been working on this project for like, what are we at, guys? Like 2 months? 2 months of actual work. There was some planning beforehand. And honestly, it's coming together, well, I'm not going to say fast, but at a reasonable rate. Okay, that looks all right. Like, admittedly, we're not even halfway done with Chapter 1. But we're getting there. Wrench rotation. That's, and let's give the head a little bit of movement. Not much. That's much. That's much. What did I just say? I said not much. The problem is that it wants to snap. Oops. It wants to snap. There we go. Okay, now just kind of wiggle the timing on this a little bit. Okay, that's probably fine. All right, reset. Point the animation player back to the 3D viewport. 8 out of something. Okay, so let's try this again. So current goal, get the partner to follow. All right, so for one thing, why did the partner spawn way over here? It's because that's 0, 0, right? Okay, jumping animation worked. I mean, she still gets stuck and she can't jump, and she has no concept of personal space, but we're getting somewhere. Why is she spawning there in room G? No, not room G, room F. It's because that's 0, 0. Almost certainly that's why. So I guess the next question is, why is she spawning at room 0, 0 when I specifically asked for that not to happen? When we add a partner, set the position equal to the player's position. I know why. It's because the player gets moved after it gets generated. So technically the player is at 0, 0. Okay. Okay. So, add player, normally getting called here. Take out this about add partner here, and instead add partner here after we set the player's position. Just after all of that happens, then add the partner. Yeah, right there. And also we have to make sure we add it if on ready. Okay, that should fix that. Sorry, I missed this about a mouse. Oh, thank you. I'm feeling good about it. Okay. So she did come to the right spot. All right, next let's do jumping. Let's think about how Thousand Year Door handles partner maneuvering. I feel like there's a very simple rule set they use, and there's a few places in the game where you can kind of see the cracks and see like, oh, I actually can see how this is working here. Jerome was able to, oh, well, I gotta see the mouse now. I don't see it. Oh well, I'll look later. Oh, it's in pets. Oh yeah, I'm not getting notifications because I'm in streamer mode. Okay, so you'll see sometimes that your partner gets stuck behind a fence or something, and when that happens, they do like a little hop, 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 hop against the fence, and once you get too far, then they teleport to your location. If they land in water, they teleport back to your location. If they touch a hazard, they do a little ouch animation and then they teleport to your location. So right now, she's just trying to get to the location directly behind me. So what I feel like I need is like some kind of node that kind of goes closer to me, but up to a point. Maybe I don't even need a node for that. Maybe I can just say move towards target location unless we are within a certain distance, and then just sit there. So let's start with that for dealing with the personal space issue. In our base actor class, got the target location management, where we just set a velocity, we normalize it, and change it by speed, and then remaining distance. Ooh, gotta be careful here. If target locations... Yeah, I mean, I get it, but... Yeah, only do that if that. So what is this manage target locations? What is that being called here? Is forced movement. Okay. Okay. So we're going to give him a jump. Yeah! A new cat. Ow! Ow! Turn on the news! It doesn't matter what channel. All right. Global position. Is the stream freezing? I hope not. I'm seeing all green from OBS. Oh, maybe it was freezing. That's been happening a bit, and I'm not sure why. I'm not gonna remember. Perfect. That's what makes the categories fun. When you've got them all memorized, it's not fun anymore. You don't realize, who was that? I'm just gonna make a category of people who have ever left a chat message in my stream. All right, let's start with remaining distance. If follow target. Ooh, well, Okay. Okay, I think this is fine. The Snail Grail. That's like the second ever level. Maybe even the first officially. That's the first ever uploaded level that was not uploaded by me in the entire game. So it is very special. So what we'll say is we're gonna check the distance by. I wish there was a cleaner way to say check distance to a location but ignore an axis. I don't have a great way to do that. Really, I could just do this as vector 2s. That would technically get me the same effect, but eh. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. That's technically a little bit cleaner. Okay. So, get the horizontal distance remaining. And if the distance to the target is less than, what's our follow distance? Let's just start with a nice 1.0. Then just don't follow. Just don't follow at all. But you are doing forced movement, and don't you forget it. Bum, 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 bum. All right. That's a good point. Okay. Got me there. Then velocity equals 0. And then stop. I guess partner speed should be bumped up a bit, huh? She follows. And she doesn't get too close. But she falls behind. Player speed. What is... How does this work? Player speed. Player... Okay. Base speed here. How is it the player is moving faster? Let's start with that. Player, velocity, speed. Speed 4 versus your actor base is 3. So I guess that means that we need to, I don't know. I guess that means Cat needs to have an extended script. Actually, yeah, this will actually work because then we can put the functionality for the partner move in the extended script. Yeah. So let's do that. Wait, why does it extend actor base? It should be extending... Oh yeah, no, we're good. So it doesn't need this, but it does need to override speed. Speed is the one we need to override with 4. Well, no, with this constant. There we go. I know it does. I'm trying to override it. Hello? Hello? What? Do I have to specify that it's overrideable or something? Turtle now tortured by Dabble Worlds? Never. He would never. All right. Godot override global variable. How do you change global variable? Is it possible to override global, or no, is it possible to override variables? Override variable base class. How about that? When I inherit a script, how do I override the variables? Yes, that's what I want. Don't need that there. That seems possible. Let's see. No. Python doesn't like that. I mean, it's not Python. It's not actually Python. Sorry. I didn't mean to call you Python, GD script. You're very different. You could check if the value is null in the subclass's ready function. Overriding exported variables isn't supported. What? That doesn't sound right. That seems weird. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, all right. It looks like... Yeah, fake Python. It looks like the answer is override it in the ready function. But I do want to make sure... does it have a super call? It does. Okay. So that'll call the regular, assuming there is one, which there is, so it'll call that, and then it'll override the speed. All right, let's see if that works. Do we get fast cat? Still seems a bit slow. Still seems a bit slow to me. I don't know. I don't know about this here. Seems a little bit slow is all. That's all I'm saying. Why is she slow? Why is she slow? What speed do you move at? What speed do you move at? Target velocity. Normalized times speed. Should be times speed. Okay. Why don't you print what that speed is to me? Tell me what speed you are at. 3. 3? Oh, no, 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 no. You told me. You told me. Well, maybe... All right, where's 4 coming from here? Right... Oh. What? Player... Oh, okay. Player is not hard-coded. All right, base speed. Player speed. How about that? That's where our problem lies. Is this and this are not the same. Ha ha ha. Okay, so we can do this and then this. Okay, that should probably work. Yeah, ooh, it's a little stuttery. It's a little stuttery on turns. You see that? Because she's stopping immediately. Okay. Do we just soften that a bit with... Get this out of here. Get this output panel out of here. Okay, we can fix that. Instead of immediately setting to 0, just start scaling down. But don't scale down the Y value. Al's on fire. Jeez. All right, let's try this. See if that softens it a bit. That is significantly better. Probably looks even better if I used an actual stick controller with a little bit more smooth movement. Okay. If it's Lemmy. Oh no. Lemmy. Charizard. There's no way. And yet. Alright, so this. She'll follow in. Yep, perfect. Okay. Now. Jumping. How does this work? In Thousand Year Door, if you just have to jump up, the character just kind of naturally does it. We can probably trigger a jump action. So right here in the actor base class, I actually have a functionality for, yeah, if you're not forced to move and you're on the floor, then you are allowed to jump. But that's supposed to be for the player. How does this not make every actor jump, though? Oh, okay. This is just to set the flag for is jump pressed, which is only read by the player code currently. So we're actually setting every actor's... Ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I get it, but I don't like it. I know why I did it that way. Huh. So, in what situation will we make the partner jump? It would be not necessarily that the player's at a different altitude. They could be at the same height, but with an obstacle between them. So it's more, it would happen if the partner is blocked. How do I determine that? Can character body give me that information? Floor block on wall? Is on wall. Returns true if the body collided with a wall on the last call movement slide. Okay. Then yeah, we would want to use is on wall. So if the partner is on a wall and what? Only with a wall. Okay, so that's like if you're not on the floor or ceiling. Oh, if it's not one, it's the other. Okay, so this can probably be put in the... We're eventually going to move some things around with the partner code, I think. So right now we've got the cat code here. We are probably going to extract some of this to a base partner class and then also further extract. We're going to split up the code base at some point a little bit more. Wasn't it? process? Yeah, okay. Okay. So, we want to know... What's the player's jump code look like? Oh, just this. Jump velocity. Let's throw that into a global as well. Jump velocity. It did say 4.5, right? I got too many blocks of code here. Don't need you right now. Or you, or you. Okay. 4.5, yes. Do that. And then move that into here as well. Cool. All right, and when you jump, heavy is the head. Okay. So we got is against a wall and is on floor. If both of those things are true, then let's jump. Just like the player does somehow. Which is just this. Just set the jump velocity, and that's literally it. All right. Well, let's start with this. Let's see how this works. Let's just get stuck on a wall and see if that works. Why aren't you moving? Why'd you stop moving? Hey! Hey! It's okay. Cheer up. Why did you stop moving? Hey, Willow. Hey, PK. Why did our friend stop moving? Right, because I got rid of all the code that would make it normally move. That makes sense, I guess. All right. Get stuck. Get stuck on a wall. Okay. So right now the problem is that just brushing against a wall will cause crazy, crazy awesome jumping, which is hilarious, but not what we want. So what we specifically want is when they're stuck behind a wall and they're trying to get up to us. Then we want the partner to jump. Otherwise, we want them to just kind of hang out. Yeah, like right now. Yeah, see, that is bad. Partner is not stuck. So maybe we say that only jump if we are more than a certain amount away from the player, because normally you'll be drug along. That was a good guess, but there is no Astro Kingdom in Mario Odyssey. So let's look at this base actor code. Okay, we're gonna check the follow target. Let's move this into a handle jump function here. All right, if follow target, which, gosh, there better be a follow target. All right, if there's a follow target, then I want to know how far to the target. Right, target location is the follow target's global position. All right. If the distance to the target is greater than, let's say 2.0, and you're stuck against a wall and you're on the floor, then you're allowed to jump. Okay. Let's see. All right, here we go. Stuck. Hey, okay. All right, so she should be able to follow me around now. Yeah, we're going on an adventure with our partner. Okay, I may reduce that 2.0 to like 1.5 or something. Yeah! All right. That's really good. All right. Close these tabs now that we've solved that problem. Okay, so the next thing is, what about if the partner is too far to reach? For instance, if I was up on top of this ridge, what do we do? And in that case, we need to have like an emergency of, if the distance goes beyond a certain amount, then, you need to, deal. Ta-da. See, this area is too big. See, right now, partner is stuck. Partner will jump, but cannot reach. And I say if they get more than a certain amount away, just teleport them straight to the player. Or if you use their ability, then teleport them, I guess, directly next to the player, on the player. Either one, it's probably fine. And that's reasonably simple. Handle, let's rename this to handle position. Or handle follow. Yeah. It's kind of making me want to take this follow target stuff out of the base actor class, but I think we will need that at some point for non-partner characters. Okay, so if this is true, then make them jump. But if distance to target is greater than 3, then just teleport. And let's change this to 1.5. Do a thing. Let's move this as a condition. Let's move this condition here. Right like that. Distance to target greater than 3. Teleport to the target. Global position equals the follow target's position plus a little bit of up. How much up? Like half an up. All right. Where are we gonna go? I don't even remember where this one goes right now. Ah, that's not gonna work. Okay. Oh, let's drop her in the water. Zoop. She's not on the ground. Where is she? All right. Okay, well that time she did teleport, but not with the water. Also, the velocity needs to be set to 0, right? Huh. Is that it? That could be it. Let's see here. No, it should just look at the distance to the target. And if it's greater, if the horizontal distance is greater than 3 units. Oh, she's still following from down below. She's still following from down below. So let's specify that this is horizontal distance to target. And let's also measure true distance to target, which is the full three-dimensional difference. If you are truly more than 5 units apart, teleport. Or if you are more than 3 horizontal units, that's fine too. Actually, let's make this more like 6. 6 seems like a good number for this. Now, water is eventually going to have a special area 3D handling. There we go. Oh, but we also need to, when we're doing the teleport, go ahead and set velocity to 0. He got to use it. He's so happy. All right, so yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. All right. We need, what do we need? All right, I think the next thing is talking character, which is scary. Also, she gets a little too close still. Like, this feels like a good walking distance, but when she stops, she just really stops. So let's change this to be, she needs to stop more. So let's reduce that lerp ratio. See, we still get corner stutters when we do that. That's the problem there. Okay, we'll soften it up, but we're gonna change this follow distance to 1.2. Stop more, please. They burst. Too soft. All right, bring it back to 0.8. Always comes back to Bomberman. Man, Second Attack is a good bad game. You guys need to understand. Bomberman 64 and Second Attack are both just this genuinely interesting 3D platformer where you can't jump. It really feels like it's a mod of a better game. But, like, I mean that in a nice way. See, it's like, it's okay that she gets a little bit behind because she catches up every time you turn because you're not going in a straight line anymore. And she's going as directly as possible. Here we go. That's the one. I need a button for partner moves. This is going to be interesting. Okay. We can do this. We can do this. How do we do this? How does this work? How in the world? Let's go over to this one here. How do you talk? How can you possibly ever talk? It's because you have a dialogue zone attached to you, which gives you an actor code. The dialogue zone is what gives you the actor code. Secret minigame tech. Incredible. It's like shouting your answer in Wheel of Fortune. So an actor on its own does not get a dialogue code. Is that bad? Should the actor code be moved to the actor itself instead of the dialogue zone? What are we doing with the actor code? Start conversation. That I could grab the actor code. All right, here's where I need VS Code, and it's much better searching utility. That one, you know. All right, actor code. Yeah, that's all we're reading actor code from is this, right? Okay, UI global, that's just a pass-through into the conversations function, which we already looked at in base conversation. Encounter zone. Encounter zone doesn't actually... Does it need an actor code? I don't think we use the actor code there. And yeah, the one in dialogue zone could be reading off the actor itself. When we get... Okay. So let's look at some of the conversation code we've already got built. That's dialogue box. Show dialogue points to an actor. Specifically points to an actor. And so dialogue zone, when it says, all right, start a conversation, that dips into the conversation code. Oh, which is scene specific, I think. Yeah, look at that. I'm not a huge fan of this. We'll figure out how this is going to work. Okay, but this binds to actor. Where does actor come from, though? Get conversation of actor. Right, we never actually wrote this part of the code here where you could have multiple different characters talking. It's always the character you walk up to and talk to that does the talking currently. Because you get conversation based on that. But the idea is that it would be tied to multiple actor codes that would individually be able to talk. Like, we'd have a shorthand of if you generate a conversation from a dialogue zone, then we've got a shorthand of accessing the actor that owns that, which is just actor. But then the idea was you would be able to have other characters talk by referencing them by actor code. And we never actually wrote that part. But it wouldn't be hard to just have like an easy built-in partner actor code. Do you need to be careful about the idea of like what if you got some point in the game where your partner is just kind of standing around but not following you, and then they're kind of like a placeholder of an NPC in a way. So watch out for that. The move amulet. It lets you do moves. Also, this is not going to be like, this is not how we're going to store the just if anyone's looking at this code and be like, what are you thinking you're about to do here? Don't worry, this is not how the conversation system is going to work in the game. We just needed some way of triggering these functions. Eventually, the actual text is going to live in completely separate files, probably a bunch of different files, and that's going to make it easier for other people to write dialogue for the game, and for us to swap out with translations if that might become a thing someday. Like, this game could be big enough to warrant getting some translations made. So the way I'm currently seeing it is that each individual room that has NPCs you can talk to will have a conversation code to it, which can actually run logic and say things like, if you have this item in your inventory, then start this conversation tree, or if you currently have this partner out, then make sure to start this to add this other option to this menu of different things you can choose. And so we're going to allow for actual logic to take place, and each of those will exist in a Godot script file specific to that area of the game. Minigame do be funny sometimes. But they will all point to these larger files that are just these gonna be these big flat lists of like ID code for a line of text, and then the line of text, and then another ID code, and then another line of text. And then we can have some kind of option in game to switch between translation files or whatever. But that's where the actual text is going to live. So get conversation is our basic system of I have gone into a dialogue zone and pressed the talk button. Please perform an action. And typically that is going to be, well, all right, we're going to we can move the camera, and then it actually returns a list of callables, like lambda functions, like a list of functions it is going to call in sequence. So like pull the camera in, show line 1, page 2, and then pull the camera back out, and then you regain control. I was thinking of something like that. At first, I was starting to come up with this system in my head that was way too ambitious for what I needed, and that ultimately would not be powerful enough for every possible use case, which is, why even have code at all? Why not just handle that all in the file itself to make it more moddable? And I think the problem, at least early on, is that I don't know every case I'm going to need, so I don't know how viable it is at all. So for now, the idea is there's going to be some kind of key value pair of, all right, show dialogue of conversation, room F, character 1, page 1. So it'll be, chapter 1, room F, character 013, whatever. It'll be ugly, probably. It'll probably be ugly. But big point is we need a way to grab an actor by an actor code. Yeah, here we go. Here was my placeholder ideas. I think one of the really nice ways to build out more complex systems where you're not really sure what you're going to want is kind of the idea of mocking out the function calls. Like, I know how I want to call this code, and then go back and then work backwards from there. Oh, yeah. It probably will be Google Sheets at some point. That's going to be a while. But as far as the specific format, yeah, I'm not really sure exactly how we're going to manage it yet. But JSON is nice just because it's fairly user readable and fast enough on the computer side. I'm doing some really dumb stuff optimization wise right now, and it's going to be a while before I even crack open the benchmarking system and start trying to figure out, like, is this fast for just me or for everyone? Because that's something I should probably consider. Okay, so yeah, I had already said to myself, what we need is the ability to do a conversation of the person you're talking to, or to pull up text from another actor that's nearby. Also things like making little icons appear above their head. We haven't gotten to that yet, but we will. Do camera controls, prompts. I have not done any prompt code yet. I don't even have an idea of how that's going to look. But, you know, the typical stuff of like yes or no kind of stuff. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Stay tuned for more crazy Paper Mario-esque coding. You're just fishing for Dabble Worlds. Heck yeah. Yeah, pseudocode comments to the rescue. Love you some Paper Mario. Excellent. You're in the right place. I'm having a blast on this project. We got a long way to go. And Godot is still a little bit new to me. It's been fun, like, just building out, like, systems that you see in the game when you play through, like, Thousand Year Door. You're like, okay, I see what they've done there. But then the idea is like, well, how do I explain that in a step-by-step kind of code system? Like, what does that actually look like? Combat, in particular, has been... What's going on? Do you have... Okay, no, we're good. Combat in particular has been very silly to try and figure out the exact ways to do things. Status effects were a very interesting system to unwind and think about, like, well, how does that actually work in the game's logic? Like, Thousand Year Door never really gives you enough information that you could tell for sure how the systems work without doing some mods. Gosh, I've still got that print code sitting out there. I need to get rid of that. So Thousand Year Door, I have written an essay on status effects. Like, I'm genuinely considering making a full video just to talk about status effects in video games from what I've found. The one that is really standing out to me is the ones that control turn flow, specifically what you would normally call haste and slow in most games. I don't remember I don't even know if Thousand Year Door ever gives it a name, because the only time I think you ever see haste is Macho Grubba in Thousand Year Door, and I think all it says at the bottom of the screen is more chances to attack are available. There's probably some other enemy that does it, but there's no way in the game that you as a player ever get access to haste. as a status effect. Yeah, in the remake, Mush does it. The takeaway, though, is you never get to play around with it and see how it works. For instance, what would happen? Yes, that's the caveat there. Is Rallywink, Goombella's second rank attack that she gets, gives Mario an extra turn, but it doesn't do it as a status effect. It's more like, I feel like it's somehow hard-coded in the game. Like, you couldn't use it, like an enemy could never use Rallywink, which I hate. I've never played a Fire Emblem. Not one. Tactics games sometimes stress me out a bit. When there gets to be a lot of units, I really start to have trouble. Darkest Dungeon kind of pushes me to the limit with like 4 to manage. And like, okay, I only ever have one at a time. I can barely think enough ahead to get through a round of combat. Now I know a guy that does a lot of Fire Emblem. Greatest game of all time. Oh, but Thousand Year Door. That's fair. That's fair to have different weird opinions of your own, I suppose. No. Haste and slow. What would happen if you had both effects on at the same time? Even if the game does something interesting with that, it's not something the designers may have intended. Like, they never had to answer that question because it was impossible. Within the confines of the game, you could never have haste and slow on at the same time. I think they cancel each other out. And that would make sense. And then the question is, okay, does that mean, like, let's say there was an item in the game that gave you 3 turns of haste and an item that gave you 3 turns of slow. If you use one after the other, staggered by a turn or two, does it cancel out, like, by turns? Or should it cancel out, like, just completely? Or should both status effects actually be visible on the character at the same time, but having both cancels the effects and then ticks down the number of turns remaining on both? These kind of weird design questions of, like, how should it work? Even if it will never actually happen in game, because in a paper RPG, haste and slow both are such ridiculously powerful effects, you should rarely see them. But I've got a secret plan where they may actually come up more than usual in a alternate mode that I've got cooking. I want to have... For anyone that is a fan of Thousand Year Door, you may have heard of the fairly recent mod, the Infinite Pit, which turns it into a roguelike. Roguelite? No, roguelike. Where the idea is it's the Pit of 100 Trials, but randomized and infinite. There is no bottom. Every 10 floors you get treasure, and the monsters actually start scaling up the deeper you go. I want to have something like that as a purely optional challenge within the game. And maybe build in some kind of system, possibly not as part of the main campaign, maybe like a side mode you have to get in through the main menu to go to. I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to do it, but I would love some kind of like baked in randomizer stuff where things like haste and slow could actually like happen more regularly, and you have to plan around these weird things that you never see in the main campaign. Yeah, I tried it out, and it's very fun. Because it actually encourages, well, in some ways forces you to try out badges that you never would have bothered with. Like Tornado Jump, that no one should ever need to use. I don't think that's it, Mac, but good guess. That was not a Mario 64 That was not a Mario 64 star. Okay. We got to do some programming. Conversations. Conversation. So really, all I need for this... Okay, let's start with tattle ability. Do we start with tattle ability? Not tattle, but like kind of a field ability. That's the one. The field ability of get a hint of the current room. Dad, we yell. I don't think that was in Mario 64. Okay, we either need to start moving towards how do we make the partner talk in conversation, or we move towards how do we make the partner give us a hint about the current room. Oh yeah, that was in Sunshine. Good point. Which one do we want first? I guess they're both good. But okay, let me get a controller. What do you think about this? All right, we've got our jump, we've got our gear spin, we've got a cancel button, and then yeah, we're gonna have a. I guess cancel could also be the partner ability. That might be a little weird. I don't know. We'll have some fourth button. Oh. Yeah. So let's see here. Are we using E? No. Q is cancel and gear thing. So let's use E for partner ability. And then we got our pause button. Oh, this is also for anyone who is a Thousand Year Door super fan. I'm gonna try something weird on the badge analog. Very similar system, but make it inventory Tetris. Make it so that not only do you have to have enough points, but you have to fit them in to position. And then make it so that some extremely valuable, powerful ones just have really weird shapes that are really hard to find a spot for, and inherently make it difficult to fit others of the same type. I think that's going to be really... I don't even know if that's going to make it into the final game, but it'd be really silly. How long have you been working on this? Code-wise, I want to say 2 months. Let me double I've actually got... Let me just scroll up in the Discord channel to see when the first screenshots started coming in. Yeah, mid-July is when we actually started putting things in Godot. So yeah, about 2 months. What is the button? 6? 6 for... Yeah, we don't have a lot of pause menu stuff yet. You can't use items, but that is your actual inventory, which is something. I like this little animation of... All right. That is a long one. Super Nintendo games. Wait a second. A single wait, no. I see an apostrophe. A 2. A 2. 2. All right. Actor. Let's say what if show dialogue, instead of taking an actor, could instead take a string? Maybe? Like, you can pass in the actor code or pass in the actor themselves. No, that's stinky. That's a stinky idea. Oh, you've fallen for the classic blunder, PK. You are so close, but there's a key detail. The game is not Diddy Kong's Quest. It is actually titled Diddy's Conquest. And no one ever knew. They Mandela affected you. They gotcha. Yeah, let's have a function where we can grab an actor by code. See, I've got this listed as base conversation. We'll extend it out at some point. All right. Get actor by code. Actor code. And we do need to handle a null case on actor. Maybe log something to the console and then just don't show a stem. They love it. They love it. I did the menu transitions. Yeah, actually. Here, let's get this. Let's build a really quick function here. Get descendants of the current room. How do we? Okay. Actually, I need to think about this more before we get it. Okay, let's look at the scene transition. Menu. Pause menu. Pause menu scene. All right. Pause menu scene. I am using an animation player. Never mind. What is it? What am I using here? No, I'm not. I'm not using an animation player. I'm using a tween. Modules. There's a lot of functions just related to moving the badges around. Switch to tab. Here we go. Switch to tab. It's tweens. It's just tweens. I grab the current tab that you are trying to switch to, and all the other tabs. And then I do some parallel tweens, and I just say, move the position of the one you want up slightly, but not so far that it goes off screen, because you want the eye to be able to focus on this one better. And everything else goes down severely and slightly rotates. And then after those tweens complete, which take, I think, the exact same amount of time, 0.2 seconds, the callback to that tween that is happening in parallel is that we actually update the model and say, now we are on this other tab, update the Z indexes, and then tween everything back together. So it actually is move to the point where they're no longer overlapping, switch the Z depth of everything, and then bring them back together. And also set some flags to indicate whether or not we can immediately switch again after that. So it's kind of hokey, but it works. That's like the most intuitive way I could think of doing it. It's probably not the best. It's probably not the most efficient, but it's like, it doesn't need to be great. It's fine. How do we get descendants here? Knowing that... Ooh. Do I want to look at the root? Probably not, but... Oh, Scene Manager can give me the current room. Okay, let's do that then. Scene Manager dot current scene. Grab these and then look for... Where else have I used this before? Here we go. Filter. Yeah. This is it. Actor. Get descendants of the room. Filter it down to the ones that have a actor code, which I think we need to move this into the actor base class, actually. Have an actor code, and actor code equals actor code. So we may or may not find a record here. Return actor. And if we did not find a room for some reason, just return null. Let's go ahead and move the actor code to the base actor class. And then in dialogue zone, when we're looking for actor code, it will be the speaker actor code. Okay, and then I need to actually go to room F and talk to this guy and tell him he is now that actor. Okay, progress. I assume that will work. Oh, he is majestic. He's a great guy. He's just been fishing for a month now. Okay. Partner, by default, has actor code just partner. And that way we can always reference the partner when we want to have the partner say something. So we're going to try this. We're going to try this. After the frog says his piece, partner equals get actor by code, code partner. Cool story, bro. That might work. That might work right off the bat. Let's find out. Let's see if this frog and this cat can have a very brief conversation. I don't know if I need to make her jump when he jumps. All right, here we go. All right, you guys, time to talk. All right, here we go. Let's see. No, it failed. Yay. Global position on base object of type array. Oh, actor is an array because I did it wrong. This right here is getting all actors that meet that. So if actors dot size is greater than 0, return the first one. All right, try again. Weak typed languages. Truly my weakness. And I know that in GDScript you can specify the return types of things. It's got some quirks. It's got some serious quirks. All right, cat. Yeah. She speaks. That was it. We had a talking partner. Simple as that. Cool as heck. All right. Let's get a field ability, right? That's the next. That would be the next thing to do. How? Okay. Scene manager. Do you keep up with the scene name? Can partners help open up stuff like chess? No. They cannot. I don't think they ever will. The player is more than capable. Okay, scene manager. Sometimes I will fade to a new room and it'll be something along the lines of chapter/room number or room name. So I would like to keep track of that piece of information. Yeah, they will help you reach stuff. Cat won't. Cat will never help with that sort of thing. She's just the hint partner. You always have to start with a hint partner because the player might get stuck figuring out an early game puzzle, and that would be it. They would be done forever. I think I'd like to have tiers of hints. You know? Like, you can ask her once, and she'll kind of give you like, wonder about this. Just very vague. And then maybe a secondary, like, okay, what you need to do is this if you really need help. And you're like, I don't know, please. I just told you to get good. Now that's a subversion I can get behind. Let's see here. Okay, that right there, entry piece 0. This is the key I need. So that's current room key. Current room key is a string. And we'll start it as that. And whenever you fade into a new room, not far. Current room key equals that. And that way we can easily access that information. String, capital string. Yes. So I think that was a twofold system, and I really like it. And I want to have something like it. Specifically, what it was there was always Goombella's room-specific information. Sometimes it was a hint. Sometimes it was just there's no puzzle in this room, so I'm just going to give you some lore or flavor text, and that's it. And that was cool. That's great. That's perfect. And the fact that there's one per room is like, all right, if you want to have all the flavor, you just make sure to use it once per room and you're good. But then they added another item, which is, what is the current next step in the plot? What is my current goal here? Which was extremely useful if you put the game down for like a week and come back to it. You're like, why am I here? What in the world was I doing? It's usually not as explicit, but there is one case. Sometimes it does get very specific on what you need to do, and it's useful. But I can't even put myself in the shoes of someone who doesn't know all the answers anymore because I've played the game through so many times. Okay. Yeah, I guess Cat can have her little hint ability. Use partner ability. I need to look at what all the different partner abilities are again, but I'm pretty sure that for all of those, you need to be on the ground and, basically in a state where you could normally jump. Plot appropriately. Like, she'll have snark, but that'll be just as part of normal dialogue moments. And if Cat is not your active partner at the time, then you'll get different dialogue. And that's just how these games work, and it's really good. All right, so use partner ability is currently on. Ooh, okay. So player. Player is actor base, but player the player code. Do I want to handle that? I probably should. Oh. What's gonna hold the reference to the partner? I guess it makes sense to have it on the player manager. Actor or partner actor is a character body 3D. Weird. Oh, I probably shouldn't specify that because it's more specific than that. It's its own little custom little class there. That's fine. So when we add partner, then let's take the player node dot player manager partner actor equals partner node. Okay, so that should lock that in, so we can access it from the player manager now. And here, this is jumped business. Why is it in the actor base? I don't know. So I want to make sure we're not in forced movement at the time. That's part of it. So let's make that a variable. So that we can access it from the partner manager or the player manager. Okay, if player is jump pressed, then do this jump. If spin is pressed, then do a spin with the gear. I should really have some serious else ifs on here to make sure you can't do multiple things. But whatever. We'll do that later. If not force movement and on the floor and is action just pressed partner. That's what we're going to call it. We're going to call the move, well, call it partner ability button. All right, now let's actually add that to the project settings. Let's go to the input map, add a new action called partner ability, and then map it to E. Perfect. And what is that going to do? Partner dot use partner ability, which is going to be different for each class that we create here. Partner not declared. Partner actor, excuse me. That's fair. Okay, so now this will call this function. Let's pass in something. Gex. I had Gex 64. I don't know if that was the full title. It was pretty bad. Man, I have a lot of games that I really like, and I objectively know that those games suck. Like, it's not even a matter of taste. Like, no, these were bad games, but I really like them. Bomberman 64. Bomberman 64 Second Attack. No, who was that targeted for? Who is Gex talking to? Hey, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. But like, what kid is going to get any of these references? Whatever. It's fine. Yeah, let's pass in player actor. There we go. And then just temporarily, velocity dot y equals 5.0. Just to make sure this works. Whee! Okay, yep, great. Okay, so we can use a partner ability. Cat's special partner ability is going to be conversation. We'll build out some kind of big map for this to base things on the room. We can build a little dictionary right here. Just like this. 00 slash A. Is that what? No, this is 99A, isn't it? It's 99A. Tell me the file name when I hover over the tab. Tell me the file name when I hover over the tab. It's 99A. And it should be an array of things. Like that. Is this? That's one of yours, Al. I remember that one. Wow. Some testing room you got here. Anyway, there you go. So that's what a tip will look like. I don't think we need to do different things based on flags. Like, if we're clever about the writing, sad level. If we're clever about the writing, then every room hint will still be like appropriate, whether or not you've already solved the puzzle. So let's see. Current room equals scene manager dot current room key. Tip equals tips dot get current room default. Wow, a room with no hint. Neat. Okay, so we do that, and then the final piece of the puzzle is we actually show the dialogue. And I think that's the partner ability done. Show the tip bound to the actor. All right, I think we got it. Here we go. Fingers crossed. All right, give us a hint about this room. Give us a hint. Give us a hint. Give us a hint. Give us a hint. Okay, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Oh, because I only bound it, but I didn't actually call it. I guess I don't need to bind it. I can just straight up call the function. You could finish it, you just couldn't 100% it. Because they didn't have a hitbox on that one trophy. Do I still have that game? I don't think I have a physical copy of it. I think I only rented that a lot. Oh, this room has no hint. Why does this room have no hint? Isn't it 99A? Floating around, losing resale value. Oh, it's because we haven't loaded it. It's because we haven't loaded it at all. So we have to actually leave the room and then come back. Wait. What happened there? What happened there? All right, there was some problems there. Okay, so that works, technically. Conversation. Get conversation is handled by the UI global class. Process conversation. Start conversation. Where does velocity need to go? Where does velocity go in all of this mess? Start conversation. Speaker. Player velocity. Okay. It happens on activate dialogue. That's not a great spot for that. I get it, but I don't love it. Huh. I don't love it. I guess, is there ever a case where we're going to start a conversation but not stop the player from moving? I don't think so. Oh yeah, that's the newest one. Dabble Pro? Oh wait, yeah, Loving the Time of Dabble Pro. That's like a mid life cycle level. Been playing some Dabble Worlds on the other monitor right now. I am planning on, at some point, I don't know when, but at some point taking it into offline mode for a while. Like taking all of the level codes or all of the actual level data and baking them in to the game code, or like putting them on GitHub or something, so that I don't actually have to host a database, because it adds up. Part of me really wants to go through and build like a really decent platformer physics setup in Godot, and then basically build like Dabble Worlds 2 effectively on Steam, because I really think you could leverage the Workshop API and make that store all the level data, which would be pretty awesome. I wouldn't have as much freedom to just store whatever kind of stuff I want in databases, which has me a little bit worried of things like, what about like world records? You could probably use the stats API like I do for Pen Pals, but like dynamically create leaderboards. Do you have to pay Steam? Only the one-time fee per game, which is $99. And compared with the hosting costs, like since the hosting cost keeps ticking every month for the database and the registered domain name, which technically is not monthly, that's like yearly, but still. Yeah, it's something. It's like in Dabble Worlds, I'm having to manage all this extra stuff. Like, oh, I've got my own like system of building your avatar and manage the credentials and all this other stuff. Dead game. The more I go back at that code, the more I'm like, gosh, I wish I had done so much of this stuff differently. It's nice that it has a fan. Or 6. Okay, right. The sliding. When we start a conversation. when we start a conversation, I want to stop who? The player? What, do I always want to stop the player whenever a conversation starts? Maybe. Maybe I do. Okay. Dialogue zone is in actor base. Yeah, because I could get player from this. See, I already start doing this mess with the player velocity here. And the speaker velocity also. I guess that is important. Not as much for cat. Okay, let's pass in player so that we can turn off the velocity of the player in a more centralized location. Okay, that should work. Secret cat, secret cat. Okay, that did not work. Oh, because it's not starting a conversation, is it? Technically, it's not starting a conversation. Dialogue zone. It's UI global start conversation with an actor code. Ugh. So that's not even the place I want. It's... Dang it. All right, don't do the player there. Just actually go through the process of saying right here, turn off the player's velocity. Fine, fine. There we go. I'm really trying to see if I can jump and trigger the partner move at the same frame. Yeah, that was kind of like that. So that could, it does need to be addressed at some point. Gosh, Earthbound, what a good game. Okay, let me look at my to-do list for tonight. Wow, we did it. Cat has been assembled. She's following us on the field. She is jumping over obstacles. She is teleporting to us when things get really bad. And she can give us hints. Hey, Cassie Codes, welcome in. Now she just needs to be able to get in fights. This room really needs to be redone. It's way too big. Aw, thanks, TJs. It's coming along. Ignore the frog. There is no frog. Will it be hissing fight sounds? I doubt it. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Oh, crap. I'm failing my own action commands. That's broken. Somehow. Why am I even trying to fight this? You don't have a real animation yet, because you don't actually have any real attacks. Frogger. Was there an SNES Frogger? That is weird to think about. It's really the doom of Frogger likes. Right up there with DKC3. All right, we still don't have like an XP system going on at the end of the fights. That'll be something we work on. There's a whole tier system of features we need to work on. So once we get like end of battle XP and victory animations, then we need to add level ups. And when we add level ups, we're gonna have to add things like, well, okay, now you gotta choose, you know, are you choosing health, mana, or module slots? And we gotta actually make those upgrade properly. And then at some point we're gonna have to do save logic. We're gonna have to save the game. Right, like there's been no need to so far, but we'll have to at some point. Just, what a chatterbox, this guy. Okay, here's something. It's not pointing to her. It's not pointing to her, and I don't know why. It's coming from nothing. Wait, this isn't pointing to him either. What's going on there? What did I break? It's just very thin. It's very thin, Mac. Okay, show dialogue. Print actor. And text pages. What else are we printing here? What are we printing? I don't even know what's going on here. Was that in dialogue zone or something? No. When did we start printing something? It's probably fine. Do not fix. I've decided. Okay, hang on. If I try it right here. Okay, see, that's pointing to the right person, so that's good. I do it again. Yep, still going to cat. Slide on over here. Okay. Wait, now it's working. Wait. I didn't just imagine it, right? It wasn't working a moment ago. What's different? Last time I didn't do a hint request at first. I did a battle. Hang on, let me try something. Okay. Oh, we still need to add her little animation of like her tattle animation. All right, run away. Now talk. No. Okay, maybe that wasn't it. What the crap? What? What? Winning the battle shouldn't have been it. And I can't think of why it would have. All right, so this is without. There's no reason it should. See, now it's pointing to him. And it's going into the right spot and everything. I have no idea. I have no idea what happened there. That's bizarre. Turn this gear. Get a little rainbow. Get some flowers growing. It's really weird. Why did it do that? Well, yeah, now that it's, now it's on to me. All right, so she's gonna get stuck, but yeah, she's gonna warp now. Now she knows how to warp. I need to add a little stone archway here. I keep talking about it and not doing it. This whole room's gonna get rebuilt anyway, so it's not a huge deal. Yeah, I forgot about this. It actually turns so you can see the waterfall when you enter the room. And again, this room is also gonna get redone because it's just too wide. And this needs vines. Tick, 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 tick. Adorable. There's not even a screen transition zone up here yet. You don't have anything to say, right? Yeah, you're just gonna break. So let's actually add some handlers there just to do nothing. There we go. Actually, I guess better yet is a if not conversation queue. Conversation queue is just empty. Empty array. All right, that's fine. Well, I feel like we've done a pretty good job tonight. In what, like a little over 2 hours. All right, all right. Well, gosh, golly. See if anybody's on now. We could do a little bit of cooldown Mario. And that way we don't actually have to end stream yet. Oh. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. All right, we're switching categories. For everyone that was joining specifically for, let's see, change category. For everyone that joined specifically